If at the mention of essay you were triggered, I'm really going to advise you to stay out of this video. Please do not watch it. You can go watch other videos and let's chat and talk in the comment section. This video has been all over my FYP on TikTok. It's a very sensitive one because you guys, this is a case of rape involving minors, like literally 2 and 4 year old. Like it's not making any sense. The thought of it at all, it's very painful. There is this popular creator, I think on TikTok and on YouTube. She started off like, making videos about, badging high value men, how to be a trophy wife. I think she's even known as the trophy wife, like literally that is her tag. So she makes all this type of videos online, and this is one of the reasons why this situation is even more controversial. After she has been away for a while, she came back to make a video, and then she titled it "I Married a Monster," something like that. And immediately it started going viral because she talked about how the high value man that she bagged has been doing a lot to our minors, to our kids, 2 and 4 year old. And she found out because she was trying to change one of them diapers, and then she saw that she was sore down there, and then she started asking questions, and before you know it, the child mentioned the husband's name, and then went on to ask the other daughter, and she as well mentioned this man. That was how she said she found out this man, the high value man, has been touching kids. This story, like I said, is very controversial because of the type of content she put out, and people are going to be putting two and two together. In the era of Shera 77 and the era of so many of these situations, people are having a lot to say. I have put together what people are saying about this situation, so without wasting much time, let's get right into it.
When I changed her, she was red and very sensitive. My first thought was, did someone touch her? She ended up saying it was Daddy.
If you guys aren't aware of this tragic situation, the caption that I put and her describing what happened says it all. This woman is a YouTuber that built her platform around hypergamous relationships and how to find a man like hers because she was a single mother and found a man who took her and her kids in and made her a housewife. I'm going to use this video to talk about red flags that a lot of women, like she did, ignore when they're trying their best to find a man to save them. She married this man 1 week after meeting him. She agreed to marrying him because at that time when she had two kids with a previous relationship that failed, she was living with another man who was providing for her, and they had broken up and she needed a place to stay since she had to leave that other man. She met this guy. She asked, hey, can I bring my kids with you, live with you temporarily while I find my own place? And he told her, if you're going to live with me, you have to be my wife. And I'm sure he promised her everything under the moon, such as I'll take care of you, I'll take care of your kids, and you don't pay a single dime. And that is what she was searching for. Under no circumstances should any woman marry a man that they had just met 1 week, especially if you already have children. All the discernment and dating went out the window when he provided her hypergamous lifestyle. This man had also essayed her 4 times the first few months they were married. But she described how she believed she could look past it and whatever else excuse she gave herself. Men who are sexual deviants do not belong in a marriage or around children. I don't care if he's only sexually deviant towards adult women. In my opinion, a man who cannot control himself and cheats or essays his own wife should not be trusted with any child. And unfortunately, she had stayed when he had essayed her early in the marriage and had 3 kids with him. You should not be practicing hypergamy if you yourself can't take care of your own self. Seeking a man who is a provider should be a choice, not a need. You should never need a man. You should never need a man to help or save you, because every single discernment goes out the window when you are in desperate need for him to give you those things. You will ignore red flags. You will tolerate BS. You will sacrifice either yourself or your children, unbeknownst to you. That relationship moved way too fast because she was in need of housing. She was in need to leave the other guy because clearly she could not take care of herself at that time. The last thing on her mind should have been dating. She had 2 kids already. Hypergamy is not meant, in my opinion, for women that currently have children. The only thing you should be searching for is how to support your kids on your own and then dating with intention with a man that has good morale. All that fun and tricking and games goes out the window when your kids are existing. I'm just wishing the best for those children's healing, those two daughters, and I really hope she takes her two sons as well to the hospital to get checked, because I don't doubt that a man like that would not touch her previous two sons. I think she just had a newborn too with this man, and I just wish them all the best. I won't say what I wish for him because I will be censored on this app. Side note, a lot of her videos, she keeps on mentioning God and how it was thanks to God that she met her husband, that God gave her a sign, that God was the one that put him in his life, put in her life. Sometimes it's not God, and it sucks so badly that we want to see things as a sign. God did not put this man in your life to abuse those two girls. But
so the content creator that goes by the name The Trophy Wife, I think her real name is Isis. She just came forward saying that the provider husband that she has been with, she has just found out that he has touched both of her daughters, who are 2 years old and 4 years old. She also explained that when they first got together, when her and her husband first got together, he R-worded her on 4 different occasions. Listen, I have nothing against the women who want to go and get provider men. That is your prerogative, okay? I get it. However, I think it's very, very important to just go on ahead and just identify the fact that when there are content creators that like make this type of content where they're talking about, them being with a provider man, they're still with a man. Women that understand male nature understand that there is no type of man that is ever going to not have the tendency to do things that men do. I don't care if he's a doctor, a lawyer, a philanthropist, a spiritual guru. He is capable of SA, he is capable of DV, he is capable of any type of abuse, whether it be mental, emotional, financial. And I'm really, really glad that she opened up and shared that this happened to her. Because even when I danced with several women who ended up marrying and being with provider men that they had met in their establishments or even just out and about, because we tend to know how to be in proximity and get those type of men. And they all were in the same exact predicament. The really sad thing is that the trophy wife is actually a product of being R-worded herself. So she made it very clear that she was very protective over her daughters. She refused to allow them to sit on anyone's lap. Just very, very strong on setting boundaries for them. That way, the thing that happened to her would not happen to them. And despite all of that, it happened to them by the person that she married. The provider talk is great, okay? The provider talk is good, it's fun, it feels good, because it always feels good to like watch content where women are opening up about like how they're being provided for, how they're being cared for, how they're being taken care of. But we also have to understand that these same women are typically not telling you about the negatives that come along with them being with a man, because this is the thing. We have to quit making these distinctions amongst men. He's a lawyer, he's a doctor, he's a dusty. He's a man, okay? The tiered system of men, the hierarchy of men, it doesn't change the fact that they're still men. So no matter how much money that he makes, no matter how nice he comes off, because the trophy wife also did say that. She said that he treated her amazing. And then once they got married, that was when he switched up. And from what I looked up, I did read in a couple places that they got married after a week, which is a huge red flag because most men don't want to get married. So when they're trying to like strap you down quickly, that is a red flag. There's plenty of men out there who aren't dust when it comes to finances, but they are dust when it comes to their morality, their character, their spirit. And that's how it is for most men, okay? Most men are dusties when it comes to all things internal, because naturally that is who men are. So although I do encourage content on here for women to get a provider man, all women have to understand that you don't get to just deal with men for free. Okay? You are paying something to a man, and it may not be tangible. In most cases, it's not tangible. If you get a provider man, if you deal with any man, but specifically we're talking about provider men here, you are going to have to pay in some way. You may have to pay, unfortunately, like the trophy wife, she had to pay with her children. There are some women who have to pay with their mental health, with their emotional health, with their physical health. Do not ever think that just because you have a provider man, it's going to give you a free ride at life and you just get to coast and you just get to kick your feet up and this man is just going to take care of you and you won't have to worry about anything. He is going to make it so that you feel like you don't have to worry about anything, because why would he try to signal off to you that there was something that you needed to worry about? So of course, he's going to make sure that he's covering his tracks along the way so that way you don't get suspicious. The trophy wife didn't even know that something had happened to her daughters until she was changing a diaper and she noticed that her daughter's private area was extremely red. And she literally had to follow the whole course with calling the police, getting the examination done. And mind you, her children are 2 years old and 4 years old. Those little girls are now traumatized for life. They're going to have a very, very hard time in the future cultivating healthy relationships because of the monster that lived under the same roof as them. And all because a woman had made a decision to deal with the man based off of his finances. It is not all men, but it's always a man.
So there's this girl named Isis on social media, and she would always preach to women on them getting a high value man, aka rich, because she never really talked about the character of the man. It was always about, get you a man that can do this for you, get you a man like this, and this is how you meet a rich man, this is how you become a trophy wife, blah blah blah. She wasn't really preaching anything of substance or spreading anything of substance to women. She was just basically telling women how to find someone to basically take care of them while they do much of nothing. But anyways, this woman Isis talks about how, you know, she had a child at 17 and, you know, she had a couple kids and single mom, and she wanted a family. But when I listened to her story, it sounded like she didn't really care to have a family. It just said she cared to have a sponsor, a guy that was rich to help her with her kids. That's what it sounded like to me. But anyways, she ends up meeting this guy. She meets this guy on an online dating site. She marries him in less than a year, some rich man. There was a 20-year age gap, red flag to me. And then long story short, I hate to say it, God bless her and her children, but the guy she married, who she really didn't know, who she chose based off of his finances, from what it sounded like, ended up doing some very, very evil things to her and her children. And I can't say those things, but just know it dealt with force and it dealt with pedophilia. And it made me sad, but at the same time, it made me realize women like her who go for men strictly based off of finances, unfortunately, these type of things happen because you're not really paying attention to his character. You're just paying attention to the life he can provide for you, and you're not bringing God into it. It's more about worldly things, and unfortunately, this is what happens sometimes. I'm not saying this deserved to happen to her, but I'm just saying when you focus so much on worldly things, unfortunately, you don't see red flags because you're so fixated on the glitter and the glam of things. And I think this is what happened to this young lady. And I pray that she gets the help that she needs and she realizes that, you know, you need more from a man than just his finances. You need to make sure he's a good guy. Take your time. Don't just rush into something because someone has money. And then, like I said, she's online telling women, oh, this is how you be a trophy wife. This is how you attract. It's a horrible message. You need to teach women how to pay attention to a man's character. how to not sell yourself because a man has money. Like, no, ladies, pay attention to a man's character. Please, get your own money. Have your own thing going. And then when you meet a man, y'all can combine. And that's why I tell women, y'all just be relying on men's finances and walking around doing much of nothing. No, have your stuff going on. Meet you a guy that has his stuff going on. Y'all come together as one. You know, he can take some of that financial load off of you, and y'all build together. All this, I just want to do nothing, and he has to build everything, and I'm just going to sit back and be pretty. Men take advantage of women like that. When you don't want to do much, and he's the one providing everything, he feels like he controls you. He feels like you do what he says. And I think that's what happened here. He want whatever he want, it has to be that way. And you better do it. If you don't do it, bad things happen. Because men like that who are older and want younger women, and they get them with, oh, I can do this and do that. Those men end up controlling those women and doing bad things. I rarely see it play out different. Most men who target younger women are manipulative, and a lot of times they're controlling, and they know it's easier to control a younger woman. And that's exactly what happened here. He was a sicko. He's an evil man, and I really hope he's in jail right now. And I just believe this is a lesson to her. Do not just bring your kids around random people. Marrying a guy in less than a year and having kids around him and all that, it's just not enough time. You don't know much about this guy. It's just, to me, I don't care what anybody says, it's not enough time. Give yourself some time. Pray about it. Use discernment. I don't think she was using discernment. I think she was just thinking, oh my God, he has money. My kids can be taken care of. I get it. But you have to have discernment. You have to put God first. That's just bottom line, man. God bless her. But this is just a lesson to women, man. Be careful. Stop choosing men strictly off of external things, material things.
So I'm scrolling on my For You page, and I keep seeing trophy wife situation trend. And I really want to commend her, because it takes a lot of strength to walk away from a situation where you know you're comfortable in. And I always tell you ladies that you need to make sure you can afford to leave. And I don't want to hear nobody talk shit about her situation like, oh, that's what happens when you choose a man with money, because these dusties be doing worse and do the same. So I commend her for putting her kids first and being able to afford to leave. And girl, let me tell you something. The fact that you built a community around it, you can now sustain the lifestyle for you and your kids in a safe environment. So don't listen to any negative talk. My heart goes out to you. You're going to get through this, and you're going to be 10 times strong. 2024 has been ghetto for all of us. Trust me.
Listening to people talk about their opinion about this whole situation, and as well mentioning and pointing out the red flags that were there from the beginning that she had mentioned in her own video, and she didn't take note of, or she was literally just overlooking because she felt like she was now living a very comfortable life. Like these things, she can just brush it off, like, telling a lie. There's a way we lie to ourselves just because we want to make the situation better, or we want to feel good about something. But at the end of the day, you always come back, like in this type of situation. Let me hear what you guys think. There are some people of the opinion that she should be arrested alongside the man, because in a video she had mentioned how this man did some things to her in the beginning that looks like exactly what this man did to the kids. So why didn't you walk away at that point? Why are you playing like, ticket with the life of your kids when these signs are already there? Even if after the marriage or something you notice, you can still walk away. You can walk away at any time. There was a comment that I saw of somebody saying, even if it is after 4 days, you notice someone, please, for the sake of your own life, just walk away. And she had mentioned how they got married in 1 week. That alone is even giving people enough point to know that she was there for the wrong reason. This person said, I got it. She wanted money, so she married him, and he wanted to access to very small children, and that is why he was with her. So many comments, so many people with this same point. You guys can see even the comment has about 1,300 likes, because a lot of people agree. This one said, I don't think it has anything to do with him being a provider. Even men who are in providers do this thing. Like one of the speeches said, like, aside from the fact that men can be doctors, they can be lawyer, they can be dusty inside, they can be so many of these things, but inside can still be dusty because they are still men. This one said, that trophy wife should be arrested alongside her husband, and don't ask me no dumb question. She know what she was doing until things stop going her way. And like I mentioned at the beginning, people said she should be arrested because you should know. Like, why is it taking you this long to even figure out that this man has been touching your kids, like your daughters? And she was like, she's sleeping. Maybe he does that whenever she's sleeping. Like this one said, men are degenerate if you get lucky. You can get one with a limited capacity for degeneracy. Another one said, no disrespect. That man showed her who he is and she chose money. And this is the reason why people are saying that she should be arrested alongside that man. What do you mean he did that prior to marriage and you married him? Another one said, wait, even with the fact that she is a full-time, not busy, how does she not see it? She literally said it happens when she is sleeping. To be honest, from what she narrated in her own video, a lot of giveaway was in that video that man is not even a red flag. That man is a red banner. Like, that man is a red, post, is not a flag at this point. Not choosing to stay after noticing all those things at the early years of their marriage is what is even making people more hungry and pissed, because now 2-year-old and 4-year-old kids are being involved, being traumatized. They wouldn't have had to go through this if she made the right decision for herself, if she put her kids first, not the money and the idea of being a trophy wife or being with a high value, whatever it is that is called man. So let me hear what you guys think about all of this. Thank you all so much for joining, and I will see you guys in the next one.